Welcome to Metabolism Tune-Up Live Coaching. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. Today we're gonna be talking about something that is more than just physical. Like we have the nutrition and we have exercise and we have movement, but we also need to address our emotional and mental state, which I have talked about that in Metabolism Tune-Up, but I wanna address that even more and just go over it one more time. So your emotions, your mental state actually can affect your entire body. I don't know if you ever heard this, but it's like every cell is like an antenna and it's listening to your emotions. It's listening to your thoughts. It's listening to what you're thinking. Your cells are even listening to what you're saying out loud about yourself. So your mental state has a huge impact on what your body does. And I just kind of want to go through and explain a little bit about that because that can sound a little woo-woo and it can get woo-woo, which I love that. I feel like every emotion has a vibrational energy, and that vibrational energy is affecting each one of your cells, and it's either giving the cells safety or it's giving it a sense of stress. But let's just talk about it more in a grounded way. So the emotions that you have are not just in your head. They can change your hormones, your digestion, your sleep, inflammation, appetite, and energy. Because there's this stress versus safety spectrum where you have two modes in your body. You have the stress state, which is sympathetic, and you have the rest and digest state, which is parasympathetic. And these are controlled by hormones. What you think unleashes different hormones in your body that has a cascade effect on your body and what's going on in your body. So when you're stressed out, your cortisol goes up. And cortisol is good, like we need cortisol, it's very helpful, but when it gets out of balance, when it gets to be too much, it can have a negative impact on your body. And it can cause a suppressed digestion. So instead of your blood flow and energy going to your digestive system, it's going to your large muscle groups. And it can also have major impact on your blood sugar, can cause wild blood sugar swings. And I've alluded to this before, but when you have high stress, it actually causes your fat cells to start dumping fatty acids into the bloodstream. And you would think this is a good thing. Like you can actually burn more fat when you're under stress for a short period of time. You can actually burn fat. But if you're under a chronic level of stress, that extra fat in your bloodstream actually prevents your body from using glucose. And so you actually end up storing more fat when you're in a prolonged cortisol state. But when you're in a sense of safety, the hormones that are controlling you, that your emotions are causing a hormone cascade of oxytocin and maybe serotonin, although there's some conflicting information about is serotonin actually the happy hormone or does it do something else? But definitely oxytocin, which is the love hormone. It's like the joy hormone, and it is the top hormone. So when you have oxytocin in the room, it suppresses cortisol. So we want lots of oxytocin. We want to feel that sense of love and safety. And what happens when you have this sense of safety is your digestion improves, you start absorbing more nutrients, your sleep improves, your hormones become more balanced because your body starts to prioritize hormone production, your energy goes up, and your body can start healing. Now let's talk about some examples of some really low emotional states that I want you to kind of think about to see if this is affecting you. So these are behaviors that can just cause low level or even high level amounts of stress in your body, and this could be affecting your entire every cell in your body. So people pleasing. If you're a people pleaser, which I totally was a people pleaser for a very long time in my life, and I was always trying to make everybody else happy, and it just kept me in this state of constant stress and constant worry because I wasn't taking care of myself. If you have fear or guilt around food, that can also keep you in a very tense state. It's like a very low emotional state. And so if you're worried about food, like if you're afraid to eat food because you're afraid of weight gain, or you feel guilty if you ate food, that can keep you in that state. And so we maybe need to work on improving your relationship with food. if you're always overthinking things and you're overanalyzing and it's hard to make decisions and you just keep you just feel like you're stuck in thinking, or if you're always ruminating on things you said or somebody else said to you, these are also emotions that these behaviors create emotions that can keep your body in a very low energy state and keep you in high stress and affect your fat burning, your energy, your sleep, your hormones, all of that. Because it's all about the nervous system. So your body heals when it feels safe, when it feels nourished, and when it feels supported. So when you're thinking safe thoughts, loving thoughts, when you are nourishing your body, when you don't have food guilt, when you're not second guessing everything you eat, when you're not afraid to eat food, and when you are supported emotionally, socially, relationally, you just feel this sense of safety. And I can totally relate to that because I was in a job before I started making nutrition my full-time job. I just did not like that job, and it just felt meaningless. It felt like I was just wasting my time. And so it was stressing me out because I just felt like it was such a waste. And when I finally quit that job, it's like my whole body, I could just tell there was a huge shift because I made that decision to get out of that place that was keeping my mind really, really stuck. But now let's talk about some simple ways to impact your emotional state so that you can have, you can switch into parasympathetic, and so your body can heal and do all the things you want it to do. So slow breathing, talk about this in Metabolism Tune-Up. Slow breathing is really, really important. It's your breath that actually tells your body, it's your communication to your body, what is going on outside in the outside world. So when you're doing short, shallow breathing, when you're holding your breath, when you're, tight and tense, that's telling your body that it's not safe. But when you're doing slow breathing, regular breathing, not huge breaths, but just very slow breathing, that's telling your body that everything is safe. One of the things that I have been really enjoying lately is yoga, and there's a YouTube channel called Move with Agnes that's really, really good, and she has this hatha yoga practice. It's a 20-minute, and I've been loving doing that around 4 or 5 o'clock when I'm ready to kind of shift into the evening time. And I will link that so that you can use it. I think it's so good. It's just been so good for my whole body because you're stretching, and that stretching movement is relaxing to your body. Walking is so important, a couple times a day. Getting out into sunshine, eating protein. Protein is a signal that there's safety in the environment. Rest when you feel tired. It's so important when you are feeling tired to really listen to your body. And instead of pushing, a lot of us are just used to pushing. We need to start thinking about, do I need to rest? Do I just need to take a few moments? Maybe that's all you need, to just rest and not push your body all the time. Prayer, or you just taking a moment and going internal and trying to connect with a higher source, your higher source. Journaling is so important. It's been such a big tool for me because when you have something rattling around in your head, rather than thinking about it all day, if you can write it down and get it on a piece of paper, it transfers it from your head to the paper, so that you're no longer ruminating on it, and it also helps you to solve whatever problems you're having. And then hugs are so good for your nervous system. Hugging the people you love, holding on to them, nourishing your relationships, taking care of other people in a non-people pleasing way, but just feeling that the nourishment of a relationship. So I hope that you maybe took a minute to really think about how your emotions are affecting your whole physical being, because we are spiritual beings, we're energetic beings, we respond to our environment, we respond to our emotions, we respond to our thoughts. It's more, there's food, there's that physical activity, there's nutrition, but there's also the nutrition of your emotional state that might actually have a bigger impact on your body than anything else, because you could be eating the best food in the world, taking the best supplements, but if you're totally stressed out, your body's not going to receive that. And I know people that have a really bad diet, they eat a lot of processed foods, but their emotional state is really good and they are super healthy and glowing and don't have extra, weight and water retention, all of that. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I hope this was helpful. Have a great Saturday.